Democrats win a majority in the House on Tuesday is that the Democrats will take control of all the House committee to conduct oversight of the administration. They have subpoena power to help them do that. Republicans appear to be super worried about that prospect. Republicans recently circulated a spreadsheet amongst themselves cataloging all the investigations they think Democrats might pursue if the Democrats take the House. The list had over 100 items on it. The Ways and Means Committee, for example, they're in charge of taxes. That's the committee that could demand Trump's tax returns. The top Democrat on the Financial Services Committee is Maxine Waters. She has already made multiple requests for information to Deutsche Bank about that bank's large loans to Trump, Trump's finances, and possible ties to Russia. Those requests could become subpoenas. The Judiciary Committee would be led by New York's Jerry Nadler, and Judiciary deals with a lot more than the possibility of just starting impeachment proceedings. Nadler would likely take steps to protect Robert Mueller and the special counsel's investigation. He could also subpoena Trump's business records to investigate if the president has illegally accepted money from foreign governments. The chair of the House Oversight Committee would likely be the estimable Elijah Cummings. Over the last 2 years, Cummings and the other Democrats on that committee requested 64 subpoenas on that committee. All 64 of their requests were denied by the Republican majority. And these were about all sorts of scandals. Trump's cabinet secretaries revoking security clearances, using private email for White House business, the president gutting plans for a new FBI building, potentially to benefit his own hotel. All these scandals that made headlines this year but sparked no official investigation in the Republican-controlled House. That would change if Democrats win the House on Tuesday night. But if Democrats do win on Tuesday night, Trump's single biggest worry would probably be this man, Congressman Adam Schiff, who would be expected to take over the Intelligence Committee, which is a position of serious authority. That congressman, who could soon be chairman, Adam Schiff, joins us next.
If you become the chairman of that committee, what is your first, second, and third to-do item?
Certainly there is a constellation of issues around the Russia investigation where, as you say, our chairman was acting as essentially a Trump lawyer on the Intelligence Committee that was doing the investigation, not only preventing us from bringing in witnesses that had relevant testimony and acquiring important documents, but affirmatively going after the investigators, going after the Justice Department, the FBI, and doing what he could through his perch, which was not insignificant, to interfere and obstruct the investigation that Bob Mueller was doing. Obviously, we're going to protect the Mueller investigation. More than that, we would like to provide the transcripts of the witness interviews to the special counsel. There are several witnesses. We have concerns about potential perjury. We sought earlier to have the Republicans join us in providing these materials, and they refused. They were, it appears, willing to try to protect witnesses that may have lied to our committee as long as they were lying to protect the president. And of course, that's not how you conduct an investigation. That's how you conduct a sham of an investigation.
Congressman Chris Matthews, can you get Trump's tax returns by subpoena as chairman of the committee?
I think logically, we could if it was relevant to issues. For example, we've wanted to look at and have made efforts to look at the issue of whether the Russians were laundering money through the Trump organization. But honestly, in terms of the tax returns, probably the committee that has the most jurisdiction there is the Ways and Means Committee. And I think Richie Neal has said that if he becomes the chairman of that committee.
Can you get it? Could you all like to get it?
Listen, I think that any candidate for president should release the tax returns. One way of enforcing that norm, and frankly, we never thought this was a norm that would be broken. It has been by this president. One way to enforce that norm is to use the statutory power of Congress to obtain a tax return for a presidential candidate who refuses to disclose it. And this is particularly important where there are credible allegations that the President of the United States may have a financial conflict of interest that is driving U.S. policy. Is our policy vis-a-vis Russia driven by Russian money in the Trump organization? Is our policy vis-a-vis Saudi Arabia and conversely with respect to Qatar being driven by business interests with respect to the Trump organization? The American people deserve answers to these questions. We deserve to know, we indeed need to know, whether the president is making decisions in our interest or in his family's financial interest.